What is going on, people? So, Joseph Reviews isn't just about doing video games, it's also about doing movies, and here's one of the first movie reviews I'm going to do. So, I recently, me and my family, won 3 free movies. The first one, we were going to see Doctor Strange, but that ended up not working, and we saw Fantastic Beasts instead. Then we saw Rogue One, and after that we saw Assassin's Creed a couple days ago. I actually don't regret any of my purchases, and I know what you're thinking right now. Why'd you see Assassin's Creed? Assassin's Creed was garbage. Well, you know what? Fuck you. Assassin's Creed was fairly adequate if you're a fan of Assassin's Creed. Yeah, so here's my review of the Assassin's Creed movie. Let me just start off by saying, if you are considering seeing Assassin's Creed right now, you are thinking in your head, man, I should probably go see that movie, see if it's as bad as everyone says it is. Let me tell you, if you do not love Assassin's Creed, like we're not even talking like you're a casual fan, or if you don't like the franchise, or even if you're just a casual fan, you will not enjoy this movie. This movie will bore you. This movie will make you question things about your life, because you need to be a fan of Assassin's Creed to like Assassin's Creed, the movie. It is the most perfect recreation of the video games in all of the right and wrong ways. Everything that you love about Assassin's Creed is in it, and everything you hate about Assassin's Creed is also in it. So let me specify a little bit. One, let's just talk about the good, because what I like to do is I like to do pros to get you all excited, and then I like to crush your spirits with the cons. Pros, the action scenes in the Animus, fucking amazing. Like, all of it is top-notch shit. The scene where Aguilar pulls the chains from Maria, so she pulls back and flips over right as the axe is about to take her out. Just fucking amazing. There's like 3 major Animus scenes. There is the opening where they're rescuing the prince. There's the execution, and there's the last scene that I'm not going to tell you because there's spoilers. But I will get into it at the end, which will be like the spoilers part of it. So I'll pretty much tell you when I'm going to get into the spoilery stuff, and you can just turn it off from there. The rest of this first half is just going to be non-spoiler stuff, just what I thought of the movie, and if you still want to watch it, nothing about the plot will be ruined for you. So yeah, there's 3 major assassin scenes that take place in the Animus. They're all really cool. Now, one of the things that Assassin's Creed changed, as I said, it's pretty much a perfect recreation of all the video games, but one thing that was changed was that the Animus was not just it wasn't just a bed you lied down in and went into the Animus. That's boring. In the movie, it's this giant arm that carries Cal, the main character, around and makes him do all this cool stuff. So in the fight scenes, you see what it's like in the Animus and what it's like in the real world. And it does this cool hip-hopping thing. Now, for the most part, it's actually pretty smooth. The transitions are pretty smooth. He's climbing up a building, and then it switches to the real world where the Animus is carrying him and making it look like he's climbing the air, if that makes any sense. It's weird, but it's really awesome. I think it flows really well. And it makes sense in the world of Assassin's Creed. The only one that I didn't like was when Aguilar first kills somebody, he jumps off of a cliff and stabs a guy, and then Cal does it, but it takes 3 seconds afterwards. Watch the movie, you know what I'm talking about, but it's just really stilted and jolted. It just goes from Aguilar killing him, and then 3 seconds later Cal does it. It doesn't flow like all the other ones do. And I guess that makes sense because he's getting used to it. But yeah, pretty much everything that takes place in the past, there's about, let's see, I'm willing to say about 20, maybe even 30 minutes of in the past stuff. It's about a third of the movie takes place in the Animus during the past. And it's honestly my favorite parts of the movie. If I could just cut all that stuff into a 30-minute long short film that's just the stuff in the past, that would be so awesome. But here's another thing. As I said, this is a perfect recreation of the game. So, I love the assassin stuff in the game. I do not like the Abstergo stuff. The Abstergo stuff is boring and uninteresting in my opinion, and that remains true for the movie. Oh my god, some of the acting and you know what's even weirder is that it's just such a jarring shift. You go from seeing this amazing acting in the past, you see Maria and Aguilar trading jabs and doing all this cool, impressive shit, and even the scenes where they're just talking. Maybe it's because it's all in Spanish and I can't understand any of it, but the way it was said sounded a lot more natural. Which, by the way, it's not like one of those movies where, because it takes place in Spain during the past, it's not one of those movies where they will start talking in Spanish, but because of like laziness for a lot of movies, there's a lot of movies where they'll switch back to English and you just assume that they're still speaking Spanish or whatever language they're speaking. No, they speak Spanish every time that they're in the past, they always speak Spanish because they're in Spain, which I like, attention to detail and all that. Okay, the stuff in the present is so goddamn dull. I'm seeing Sophia going like, we can't put him back in the Animus, Dad. And Jeremy Irons, I don't remember his name. I just call him Jeremy Irons because that's the actor who plays him. And whenever I see him, I just think he's Jeremy Irons. But she's all like, we can't put him back in the Animus, Dad. It's too dangerous. And he's like, we have to. It's just so... It's just really stilted and wooden. I felt like I was watching two cardboard boxes talking to each other, with the exception of one character, Michael Fassbender's Cal. He was the only one I legitimately enjoyed, but even I'll admit there were many scenes where his acting was pretty wooden and broken too, which is sad coming from Michael Fassbender of all people. Sophia, oh god, she was just, I'm sorry, I don't know that actress's name, I could probably look it up, but your talents, if you know what, she's probably good. Okay, I've misjudged a lot of actors where I'm like, man, they really suck in this movie. They probably suck in everything. And then I watch their other stuff and they're pretty good. Whoever played Sophia, I'm sure you're a great actress, but here you were either totally wasted or you need to change your acting entirely because, God, she was just so wooden and robotic this entire movie. All the Abstergo stuff was boring. It's just so... Okay, they try to liven things up a little bit. Like, they have, like, a garden and stuff, and there are different locales. It's not like Assassin's Creed 1, where it's just a white room with a bedroom and a bathroom, and that's literally the entire setting when you're in the present. No, they switch it up a little bit, but it's still really sterile and boring. And I get it, that's the vibe they're trying to give off. It didn't work. I'm sorry, I get you're trying to go with this sterile vibe, but it just makes me bored and visually uninterested. I'm just like, man... This is so boring. Get me back to the assassin stuff. If they made a movie where it was where the entire movie was about the assassins, it was a fleshed out plot about them trying to save the prince, and they just extended it to the entire movie, this movie could have been fucking amazing. Because, let's be honest, we all play Assassin's Creed to see the Assassin's Creed. And you know, okay, fine. Not everybody. I'm sure there are people who do legitimately get kicks out of the Abstergo stuff. Me, I don't. I play Assassin's Creed to murder fools. I do not play it. Whenever, like in Assassin's Creed 3, when I just get my Assassin's gear as Connor and then I get immediately pulled out to go do some shit as Delsin, I'm like, no! What happened? I was having fun! I just got my Assassin's gear. Why do you need to pull me out now? Why couldn't you pull me out 20 minutes ago when I was fucking walking through the jungle? But yeah, so, Assassin's Creed. I personally thought it was good, but it's maybe just because of the fact that I love history. I'm a huge Assassin's Creed nerd and fan. There's a lot of bias to this movie. If you love Assassin's Creed, you'll probably love this movie. And if you hate Assassin's Creed, you'll probably hate this movie. And if you're indifferent to Assassin's Creed, you'll be indifferent to this movie. It's just the most perfect recreation of the franchise. And when people say that it's the best video game movie of all time, I still disagree though. I recently watched the Warcraft movie a week or so ago. I think the Warcraft movie's better. I think that that has better acting. Oh, for one, goddamn. The acting in the past was good, but the acting in Abstergo is just so wooden and lifeless. And the weirdest part is the fact that you spend 90% of the movie with Sophia and Cal's relationship, who have no chemistry. They do not bounce off each other at all. They are two wooden blocks talking to each other. But Maria and Aguilar, despite having not a fraction of Sophia and Cal's screen time, they have so much more chemistry. And they have only one scene where they have an extended conversation. The rest of it is just action, looks, and all unvocal acting. And it's fucking amazing. They go together like bread and butter. I just wish the entire movie could be that. Alright, time for the spoilery stuff. And if you don't want spoilers, stop this video, go watch Assassin's Creed. Maria's death. There's not a whole lot to spoil in this movie. Not a lot happens that's really worth spoiling. But the main thing is the fact that Maria dies. And I'll be honest, I was pretty fucking sad. I'm like, no! Your likable female protagonist is dead. Now I'm stuck with Sophia for the rest of the movie. But that shit where Aguilar is just like, holy... There's so many emotions going through Aguilar right when Maria dies. It's kind of insane. Michael Fassbender, who's usually a wooden block in this movie, suddenly pulls out this, just the look, the look he gives to Maria's killer is just so insanely deep. He goes through sad, anger, happiness. Well, not happiness, but what's the word I'm looking for? Shock. And like, well, okay, he goes through happiness when he's like, I'm gonna give up or no, Maria does actually. Maria goes through happiness, like, oh, you're gonna save me, and then she dies. And Aguilar, it really made me sad. And people were like, oh, she was barely in the movie, barely knew anything about her. I'm like, I know, but God, she was just so real. When Aguilar, when she's like, don't waste your tears on me, I'm like, shit, that's some real shit right there. That's hard to say. I couldn't imagine saying to somebody, if I die, and she didn't even say if I die, she said, when I die today, don't waste your tears on me. Which was it's just powerful. Okay? Maria's death was just powerful, it just hit me, and then Aguilar just becomes a badass motherfucker and just beats the shit out of that guy. Just so fucking cool. And the whole thing with Christopher Columbus taking the Apple of Eden, which is proof that this doesn't take place in the canon of the game. My friend was like, does this take place I heard that this takes place within the game's universe. I'm like, no, it doesn't. That doesn't make any sense because Ezio has the Apple of Eden in the Renaissance after the Assassin's Creed movie takes place. But according to the Assassin's Creed movie, Christopher Columbus died with the Apple of Eden, so there's no way, unless Ezio took the Apple of Eden out of Christopher Columbus's grave and then put it back in later, which doesn't make any sense. And overall, the ending's really confusing. All the Christopher Columbus shit makes no sense. But if you just think of it as its own movie and not taking place within the Assassin's Creed universe, it actually it works. It works, in my opinion. It's not a great ending. It's kind of a weird twist when I heard that his name was when I heard Christopher Columbus, I'm like, it's Christopher Columbus? Well, it does all match up, so yeah, whatever. But Assassin's Creed, I personally liked it. If you don't like Assassin's Creed, if you're watching this and don't like Assassin's Creed, you're probably not going to like the movie. So, that is it. I hope you like this movie review. I'm going to do a bunch of these. And by the way, if you're wondering, the Crazy Taxi review is coming fairly soon. I've already got footage. I just need to voice it, add a couple sound effects and special effects. And the Crazy Taxi review will be up by today. I can promise you that. So, I will see you guys next time.